Good morning and welcome to Ayubowan, Sri Lanka. Today we have with us Mr. C.A. Chandraprema, political correspondent of the island. Good morning, Mr. Chandraprema. So, Mr. Chandraprema, we are just after the presidential election. And from now on, what is it? What can you say that about the stability of the country and the economy, and how can we take it from now on?
Well, I think the most salient feature of this election is that it was definitely a vote for stability. A lot of people, despite the fact that the whole election campaign was based on misinformation and rumors and all that kind of thing, a lot of people seem to have decided that they want stability, that they don't want a candidate elected who would disrupt what has been achieved, and that was the verdict that we saw being delivered yesterday. Now, having said that, what I must say is this, that our generation has never really experienced stability of any kind. Now, if you take those who were young in the 1970s, that was a decade of instability. It's the same with the 1980s, 1990s, and then we entered into a period of stability after 2005. There were various reasons for this. There was a question that people tended to do all kinds of political experiments. Then the leaders were not stable people. Now that problem arose after the executive presidency was introduced. If the leader was not a stable individual. Now we saw this during the Chandrika Kumaratunga years, where the personality of the leader was the main reason for the instability in the country that existed at that time. Now, having passed all that, we have come to a certain stage where there is no terrorism in the country, where the people have overwhelmingly voted for one party, and we have a very balanced, sane, rational president in power. And I would say that at this particular moment in time, we are poised for a takeoff, for the takeoff that never happened after 1977, which J.R. Jayawardena wanted to realize, but for various reasons never really materialized in this country. So what we have here is a chance that we should not mess up, and in this we are all stakeholders. I mean, it's not just the job of the government. It is a job of the people as well, and I suppose the day before yesterday the people came out and they did their duty to ensure stability, because their own survival depends on it. So I would be very, very positive in my thinking as regards the future of this country.
So, Mr. Premchandra, the other thing, we also, when we look at the vote, we see that President has definitely won an overwhelming majority. But if you look at the north and the east, and also the Nuwara Eliya seat, we have seen that the opposition candidate had got more votes. Is it a verdict on the ethnic divide? And if so, what can you say about stability with respect to that issue? Minority relations as well.
No, I wouldn't see that as a major problem at all, because in most democracies, you do find, the minority communities generally favoring one party over the other. Now, if you take the United States of America, a glaring example would be that the Democratic Party has always enjoyed the support of the African American, the African Hispanic communities to a much larger extent than the Republican Party. So that's a pattern that we see across all democracies, and I suppose in Sri Lanka it would not be very different, because the United National Party has had a long history of working together with the minority party, because it became the United National Party, that name itself was because certain minority groups joined together at the inception to form this party. So there has been a historic link as well. Now, which you would see even in the particular district. I mean, people like Rajadure, Devanagam, there is some sort of a link. It's not something that just came out of the blues. There is a link. So that situation would be common to most democracies. I mean, it's so in the United States, it will be so here. I don't see that as a, the fact that they would have voted for a different party, because I think this government is not just a government of one section of the population. They have demonstrated that very clearly by starting so many infrastructure projects in the north and the east, and they have transformed the east. Many people say it's unrecognizable today. So they have very clearly shown that they are inclusive in their thinking. So I wouldn't see that as a major impediment to the future stability of the country. But of course, there is one thing that we have to realize, that there are certain political formations, both in the north and the south, for whom stability is unacceptable. Now you take the JVP for example. Now that is not an establishment party. They do not believe in stability. In fact, they thrive on instability. They need issues. They need issues to get people to join them. They need issues to organize people around, and they need something to latch on to in order to make a bid for power. So that need exists perennially with regard to the JVP. Now, for some misfortune, I mean, you would find a similar formation in the north as well. Now, I would feel that the role of the JVP in the south today is being fulfilled in the north, ironically, not by the younger, the militant people like, say, Douglas Devananda or Pillayan or Karuna, who came from a militant background, and it's not them who's the sort of the JVP of the north and east. It is the TNA. Because if you take the TNA, I mean, over the past 30 years, in their various incarnations, as the TULF or as the TNA or whatever, you would find that none of them have really done the usual work that you would expect of a parliamentarian in the south. They don't meet people, they don't solve people's problems, they don't talk about infrastructure projects for the area. There's no, it's not them who's doing all the work. It's done by the central government. So what a usual MP does is something alien to them. Now you would find them concentrating more on political sloganeering. Saying, oh, we don't have this, we don't have that. I mean, if you look at the slogans, they'd sound very similar to what you would find the JVP articulating here in the south. So while we will always have to, since this is a democracy, we will always have to live with elements like that, and that, I suppose, is a part of democracy.
So how can we think as all ethnic communities? How can each and every ethnic group can be a stakeholder in the process of development, and how do you see the economic stability in this present context?
Well, it's like this. I mean, for economic stability, the first requirement is political stability that we have. Now, if it comes to a question where, shall we say, there is some kind of room to complain that they have not been included or something like that,